It's the professional granddaddy of them all. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Squeeze the Juice, episode 18. It is Super Bowl weekend. In our opinion, it's kind of the trash bowl because it's not what we wanted. I think a lot of America didn't want it, honestly.
Two great teams. Let's give them some respect. Two great teams, probably the two best teams in the NFL this season. But you're right. We didn't want them. I mean, we both don't like Mahomes, and I think it's more than just Mahomes. I think he got his family involved, his wife. It's just
now they're back.
It's just annoying, right? But then on the other side, you got Nick Sirianni, and no one really likes Eagles fans. So what happens is you just kind of you look at both these teams. You're like, I don't like either team, but unfortunately, these are the two best teams. Like, we do have to show them their flowers, as much as I don't want to. They are a great football team. So it should be a very entertaining Super Bowl. And what's been I don't want to say poor playoffs, but maybe lacking the luster of the past postseason. But I think we'll have a great Super Bowl. I'm excited. We got so much to talk about. So much with the game and the props. It's going to be fun.
Evan's got a lot of juice in his back pocket.
Don't go crazy. I'm not saying you got to go all out for the Super Bowl, but I'm going to be betting a little handsomely this Sunday. So I'm excited. Hopefully they hit. Hopefully we get some winners for you guys, because that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're all about.
Handsomely. I'm rocking a little red today. Shout out the month.
Looking glorious.
Beautiful month.
Looking glorious in that suit.
Valentine's Day is in a couple days. Just trying to show out. A little red, a little love. Sending love your way, as you viewers and listeners. Shout out to you guys. So, where do we start from here? Do we go into your side things? Do we just kind of talk about how we feel on each team, how they've gone throughout the season?
Yeah, let's do a classic breakdown of the game. I mean, what are your thoughts? Chiefs, Eagles, obviously. Eagles laying 1.5 here. Numbers been relatively calm at 1.5 for the most part. Not much movement. You're seeing more public leaning Eagles. Where are you leaning in this game?
It's tough because the Eagles are just like, everything seems to be going so well for them, and like they've been hitting on, it seems like, all cylinders. I know the run game was questionable throughout the season, but if Jalen Hurts is healthy, he's mobile, he can run, he can throw deep, he's got every weapon across the board to throw to. He's got a great offensive line that is now a lot more healthy. And, the defense is playing really good, too. I mean, it's tough with these playoffs with a non-quarterback Niners and then the Giants. Everyone's like, they're holding teams to 7 points. Okay, but we know how the Giants were kind of a joke, and then the Niners didn't have a quarterback. So,
two limited offenses.
Yeah, two very limited offenses. So it's like, okay, yeah, they're a good defense, but still, what were they up against realistically? So it's hard to say, but when they're firing on all cylinders, they look like the best overall team in the NFL at the end of the day. The Chiefs, we're not a fan of them, but it's Patrick Mahomes. He still keeps getting it done. He knows how to win games. He's been here before. And he always has Travis Kelce by his side. It's like Brady for many years. He always had Gronk, to rely on. But is the Chiefs' defense going to hold up enough? That's a big question. They look a lot better than they have in the past, but still, is there enough experience across the board to hone in at this moment,
Fair points. All really good notes you've made on so far in this game, but I'm in lockstep with you. I do agree that the Eagles, when it all, comes down to X's and O's and Jims and Joes or whatever, they probably are the most complete team.
Yeah.
Right? The only kind of, if you want to call it a differentiator, is Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are on the other sideline.
Yes.
Like that's really what it comes down to, is we know the Eagles as a team, as a roster, probably have the best in football, right? But they don't have Mahomes. As much as I like Jalen Hurts, and I applaud him for having a great season, but they don't have Mahomes. And look, this is Nick Sirianni's second year with the Eagles. Andy Reid's been doing this for a long time, and he has won a Super Bowl before. So, if you're looking at who do I trust more, I'm probably trusting Mahomes and Reed to get this done. However, I can't ignore what the Eagles have. They have an elite offensive line. They have an elite pass rush. They have an elite secondary. What am I missing? They can run the ball. They can throw the ball. Like, even if Jalen Hurts isn't 100%, like, they're just finding ways to be effective. And I don't know if I trust the Chiefs to totally stop them. So it's just like there's all these different emotions and factors going into this game where I just look at the spread. The spread kind of sucks, if we're being honest. 1.5, it's basically a pick 'em, and you're like, okay, do I pick against Mahomes and Reed, or do I pick the team that, or well, I guess, do I pick Mahomes and Reed, or do I pick the team that I think is the most complete? And it's like super difficult to make a decision.
Because, like, the Eagles could be having a great game overall, but it's like, if Mahomes is down, at any moment it could just strike, and then the switch could be flipped.
I mean, we saw it in the first Super Bowl that Mahomes was in, right? Against the Niners. Super Bowl 50, 53? 54?
53 or 54, yeah.
Right? I mean, he literally was down 10 points in the fourth quarter. Less than 7 minutes to go. They end up winning 31-20, I believe.
Yeah.
It's like they scored 21 points under 7 minutes when they needed it most. Like, that's just what Mahomes can do.
Different offense, though. Too.
Different offense, different offense, but I think a better quarterback. I think Mahomes is better now than he was when he won his first Super Bowl. I do.
He's had more mileage on him. He's lost a Super Bowl. He knows what that feels like.
Right.
He's got all the experience he could need under his belt right now.
It's just like, if I pose the question, do you think Mahomes loses his second Super Bowl as opposed to winning his second Super Bowl? Like,
that's a tough question.
It's a really tough question.
Because that statement alone changes the trajectory of the entire offseason of media. In my opinion.
100%.
Like, it's either going to be, now we got to start asking questions. Is he really that good? Is he about it? Was it the ankle? Or if he wins, it's like, he can do anything. He's unstoppable. People should already put him ahead of, like, Brady and Montana and all this. You know that crap's going to come. So it's like,
I know.
This Super Bowl for him is completely 50-50. Well, it's like the Eagles, they didn't make it, or awesome, they won. Keep the move going, where they're at. But, like, it's a complete, like, for at least the next year, it's a complete game changer in the grand scheme of things for Mahomes. Talk about Mahomes.
Oh, I know. And, I mean, an underrated storyline, too, is, like, because I feel like this Super Bowl has not gotten its fair amount of, like, attention. Mm-hmm. Let's be fair to the NBA. It's absolutely dominated, like, the weeks leading up to the Super Bowl. I mean, you have the trade deadline and LeBron passing Kareem for most points all time. The NBA has just taken full advantage of the lack of NFL games on. So it feels like
it's been nuts.
It's been unreal. Like, I mean, KD moving, Kyrie, like, all these guys are moving. LeBron making history. It's just like,
and then the next day rebuilding their entire team.
Right. It's just like, where's room for the NFL right now, because the NBA is just so hot. And so while I feel like it's been a very quiet maybe lead up to the Super Bowl, like, this has the potential to be one of the best Super Bowls we have witnessed in a good amount of time. Like, that's the potential it has. Now, like
that being said,
that being said, I believe we said this on the last time. It reminds me, like, I'm not saying it's gonna be this kind of game, but when it was Broncos Seahawks, where I just was not interested in either team, but I was like, this might be a good game. Like, it ended up being an absolute crapshoot, right? The Seahawks just ran all over the Broncos. It was 43-8. Could that be this game? Like, could that be just one of those games where the Eagles just pounce on the Chiefs early and then it's nonstop from there on out? Like,
out of nowhere.
Could we see that in this game? Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, when we're thinking about betting this game, like, what do you think is more likely? Like, the Eagles winning a blowout or the Chiefs winning close? Because the way the Eagles have been playing and what they can do to opposing teams, like, I almost feel like the Eagles could do it. Like,
I definitely think those are the two ways. This is not going to be a Chiefs smackdown.
Like, if it's a close game, it's going to be really, really hard for me to see the Eagles pulling it out. Because late fourth quarter, I'm putting my faith in Mahomes. Like,
Agreed.
I need the Eagles to be up by like 14 plus if I'm going to
Like
feel
17,
comfortable.
probably.
Yeah, like up 2 scores in the fourth quarter. Like, that's what I'm going to need. Because otherwise, if it's within a touchdown, I don't know how you doubt 15. I just don't know how you doubt him. It's just, I just don't know.
I don't know how you doubt.
I don't know how you doubt him.
I mean, it's a fair statement. I mean, Hurts hasn't been in this position before. Last time he was in a championship game, he got yanked.
That's true. That is true.
But
That's actually not true. It's actually not true because he was in the championship game against Clemson when they played Lawrence.
Oh, yeah, because they beat, but they smacked him down, so.
No, it was close.
Are you sure?
Wait, no, I'm thinking of Deshaun Watson. It was
Okay.
Deshaun Watson won. Jalen Hurts led him on a touchdown drive 2
Okay,
minutes
that
ago.
one, yes.
And
I
then
know what you're
Deshaun
talking about.
Watson
Okay.
won the game
I'm
because
thinking of a different one.
that was the following year after the Georgia game where Bama beat Georgia in the national championship. Where obviously Tua came in for Hurts. The following year, Tua got hurt, and Hurts came in late, won the SEC championship game, got into the college football, final,
yeah.
and took them on a touchdown. What was everyone thought would be the game-winning drive, but then Deshaun Watson, Hunter Renfrow with a second left, they got the win, and they obviously raised the the national championship trophy. But
and that's what could happen here.
Hurts is built for big moments, though.
Yes,
like
he knows.
This is not going to be a stage where I think he's going to shrink under the pressure.
No. It'd be if things start collapsing around him, he's still going to be fighting, no matter what's going on.
That's just who he is. That's just who he. Jalen Hurts. I have so much respect for Jalen Hurts. Like, it pains me that he's a Philadelphia Eagle because he's just such a likable quarterback. He's such a guy that you just want to root for. Like, that's just who he is.
He's got the vibe.
He's got that personality. He's got that mantra. He's got that swagger to him where it's just pure class, but also like him kind of subtly saying, like, I know I'm great. Let me be great. Like, that's the vibe I get from Hurts. And I love what he's capable of. I love what he's been able to do. Even though like we did last week, even though I don't think he's like a top 5 guy of the future.
Yeah, we know who is.
Yeah, we know it's Caleb, but like I still think Hurts is like a top 7 guy, and he's surely the best quarterback in the NFC right now.
Fair enough.
So it's just, where do you want to go with it, really? Like what are your thoughts on this pick here? Because I don't have a ton of confidence in what I pick here because I'm just flip-flopping the entire week. So I don't know if you have a more, passionate statement of conviction, but I just am kind of lost in the woods right now.
No, it's crazy because, like, based on playoff points, the Chiefs are scoring barely a point, maybe just over a point more on average than the Eagles have since the playoffs started. Now it's tough when you average things out because, technically the Chiefs have allowed about 20 points where the Eagles 7, but different teams. You're playing different teams. The Chiefs had the harder games, 100%.
Obviously. Obviously.
No, 100%. But it's tough because I remember I told you last week, I'm like, early pick, give me the Chiefs. And when I said that, the reason I said that is because I want the Eagles to win. But I'm like, either the Chiefs win and the bet hits, or the Eagles win and I lose my bet, but I'm happy because the Chiefs lost. That was my original statement on why the Chiefs kind of went. Are we starting? Are we staying?
I'm ready. I think I'm not confident at all in my pick, but I think I have a sense of where I'm going, at least with the spread. I have a much more comforting feeling about the total and then some of the props that I'm going to lay out for you, but let's start with the spread. You go first.
With all due respect, I am taking the Eagles -1.5.
Yeah,
I had to go with what I want. I had to go with the truth. I had to go with what I believe in. I know it's Mahomes, and I know that's more favorable, the +1.5. But the Eagles have been the best team, but there's been still doubt because of how the NFC's been. and I have nothing bad to say about them. Like,
There's
yeah,
nothing bad to say.
their coach and their fan base are annoying, but like when you just look at the team and the players and what's going on with them, there's nothing to complain about.
All right, I agree with you 100%. Honestly, like I said, my lean was the Eagles, and while I really hate picking against Mahomes,
I know,
and I hate picking
especially
against Andy
when
Reid.
he's plus.
I know, it's just one of those games where one of these teams is so clearly better than the other team in almost every aspect except quarterback and coach, and those are the most important aspects. But if you go down the list, who has a better offensive line? Eagles. Who has a better pass rush? Eagles. Who has a better secondary? Eagles. Who has a better wide receivers and running backs? Eagles.
Secondary is a huge factor in this game.
It is. It's a massive factor. And it's like, all right, so the Eagles, what do they do best? They pressure the quarterback at a rate no one else is doing. They're able to get to the quarterback at a rate no one else is doing. Mahomes, who is not, for all intents and purposes, I don't think he's 100% still.
He is not, no.
So you're asking me to trust the Chiefs' offensive line, which we did state last week, or 2 weeks ago before the divisional round, or the championship round. Mm-hmm. Their pass rush, block rate or whatever, their pass rush win rate, or pass block win rate, that's what it is. That's the stat. It's the best in the NFL. But they have not seen the Eagles' pass rush. They are a dominant, ferocious force. And I agree. I just don't, maybe I'm falling into the trap, but I just don't see a ton of scenarios where the Chiefs win. Like, I'm pretty comfortable picking the Eagles in a game where, they can run the football in the first half and just kind of lean on the Chiefs and just kind of make their presence felt and lean on you, and then all of a sudden they're up by 14-17, and you're asking Mahomes to do a lot. I could also see, the Eagles' defense just stifling the Chiefs overall, and they are not able to get much going. So at the end of the day, I'm right there with you. I'm going to pick the Eagles -1.5. And while it's so hard for me to pick against Mahomes and Reid, excuse me,
Okay.
I just have to. I'm going to side with the better football team.
Fair. All agreed. There's nothing more I can say about it, It's the better team at the end of the day. I mean, yes, it all depends on that. If it's the late game and it's tight, that's when you get concerned.
And maybe you feel out this game, like I'm going to put Eagles -1.5. Maybe I live bet, though. Maybe I put a live bet down. If the Eagles are up by, like, I don't know, let's say they go quick, 10-0 first quarter, right? Maybe you throw a little on the Chiefs. Maybe you throw a little just to kind of cover yourself. Maybe you make a little extra cash. All right. Chiefs, you get +6.5, right? Maybe you throw a little money on that. And so now you already have Eagles -1.5. They're up double digits. So that you're feeling good about that. But maybe, just maybe, the Chiefs, Mahomes, they end up giving you a little backdoor cover, and you still hit both. You could hit both your bets. So there's ways to play this game. Like, I'm probably going to live bet too. Like, that's just how it is. Like, that it's just one of those games, right? But no, I think, I just think you look at the Eagles and you just feel more comfortable picking them over the Chiefs. Like, there's more ways for the Eagles to win than the Chiefs. The Chiefs have to be in this game close, with Mahomes having the ball late. Like, that's the way I see it. Like, I don't see the Eagles
just
getting falling out of favor and getting blown out and just completely, vomiting on themselves. I just don't see that happening. Like, I see this game either going Eagles dominating for the most part, like relative domination, or
one of them win close.
Yeah, one of them win close. Like, that's just the way I see it.
Nothing left to disagree on.
No.
To disagree on.
So do you want to discuss the total? So the total in this game is 50.5 points.
I was looking at that. I think it was like 51 the other day.
Yeah, it was 51.5. It dropped to 50.5. Where do you like the total in this game?
I think it's under.
You like the under in this one?
I think it's under. I think it's very close, but I think it's just barely under. because I think it's going to be a tight one, but I don't think it's going to go over. Actually, I keep thinking about the scores I've been talking about all week, and I'm like calculating now. I want to say under so bad, but if I'm trusting my gut and what I think the points will be, I'd have to go over. It's very tough because it's like what I think is going to happen. I think it would be over. But like if it's close, like if it's a lower close and like the way the Chiefs games have been recently, you'd want to say under.
Right. I mean, the issue with this total for me is you have to bank on one team getting 30 points. Like you have to bank on one team getting at least 30. There's no way around it. So if one team gets 30, which I think the Eagles could, like I have somewhat faith that the Eagles will get 30. What do I need the Chiefs to get? I need them to get 21 points. Can I trust Mahomes to give me 3 touchdowns? I think yes.
Yeah.
Like I don't. I just there's a lot of game. If they're down late, they're going to be passing. It's going to come down to, the fourth quarter. Like I think we all feel like this game will come down to the fourth quarter in some aspect. Like if the Eagles are up 10 going into the fourth, like I think that's realistic, right? So the Chiefs are probably going to have to score points in the fourth quarter. And if that score going into the fourth is like 27, 17, right?
Mm-hmm.
We only need like a few more points to hit the over. So my mindset is like you have Mahomes and you have Hurts. Like, and I know this is going to sound like such a casual better here, but I just find it really hard even though both these defenses are pretty good, I'm going to find it really hard for Mahomes and Hurts to just be stifled. Like, I feel like both these offenses are going to get theirs. They've had weeks to prepare.
You're not expecting a 21-17
right.
game.
I'm not expecting one of those games. Like 23-20, I just don't see that happening. Like, I think they're going to be scoring at will in the red zone. So as long as they can move the ball, like, I see points.
What do you think the score is? You want to know mine?
Yeah, let's hear it.
My prediction that I keep popping up in my head all week is 31-27 Eagles.
I like that. Like they're up 31-20 in the fourth. Mahomes gets a touchdown.
And then like the Eagles
just
knock
run
down,
it out.
Yeah, they run it out, or like they knock it down to be like just not enough, and then for some reason like they just disrupt Mahomes or something happens. Where like he has the opportunity, but like there's just not enough to go right for them to get it done.
I like that. Like I don't know. Like I'm gonna play the over, so I don't want to just give you a pick where it's like a massive over hits. But I just think that this is going to be a high-scoring game. Like, I do. So I think I'm going to go with 38-31 Eagles.
Ooh, juicy. Do you think they wind it down? You think Mahomes has a shot and they reject it?
I think it's like 38-24 with like 7-ish minutes left. Eagles let up a touchdown to Mahomes. Then the Eagles just kind of grind out the clock, just find a way to, maybe just kind of run out. Or maybe it's 35-24, Mahomes gets a touchdown, Eagles kick a field goal to go up by 7, and then the defense just steps up big for the Eagles. Just something like that where I think the fourth quarter is involved here. I do think Mahomes is playing into the fourth quarter with a chance to tie the game. I just don't know if he'll ever have a chance to win the game. And that's why I like the Eagles. So I'm going to go Eagles -1.5 and over 50.5 for the picks. Those are my picks.
I like that. You think it could go into overtime?
No, I don't see it. That's reserved for Super Bowl 52, whatever.
I think so.
That's reserved for a special occasion.
We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. What else
this
you
is
got?
like this so like this is like Super Bowl. I'm just so not confident in it
I'm
all.
just
like these picks could totally flounder and flop, and it's like, all right,
whatever, man.
I know.
What else you got for us?
All right, so I got some props here. So first prop is heads or tails. You can bet the coin flip.
That's crazy.
I am going to bet heads just because, if you know us, if you know the pod, we are Pats fans, and the Patriots always pick heads. So that is why I will be betting on heads. I'm going to throw a little cheddar on it. Nothing crazy, but I'll throw a little cheddar and, it's if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You got a 50-50 shot.
I'll take tails.
All right.
Just for the fun of it.
All right. That's fine. That's fine.
Just for the fun of it. I'll take the opposite.
All right. So I'm heads, Justin's tails. That's, a fun little prop. It's meaningless. But apparently the past 8 teams to win the coin toss lose. So if you want a live bet, the loser of the coin toss to win the Super Bowl, you could do that.
That'd be crazy.
Like you just blindly bet that trend.
I feel like the Eagles are going to win the coin toss. I know that's tough, but I feel like they're going to win.
Probably.
Because people are going to be like, oh, they already got it in the bag.
Yeah.
They won. They're gonna kick after half. Mahomes has to receive, and Mahomes is going to be like, all right, first drive, 2-3 minutes, touchdown. And we're going to be like, oh, here it goes.
The Chiefs are wearing white, too.
I know.
15 of the past 18 teams to wear white in the Super Bowl win. But the last time the Eagles were in the Super Bowl, they were wearing green.
And they're wearing green again.
And they won the last time, as we know, over the Patriots, 41-33. Nick Foles, sad. Tom Brady, most passing yards in the Super Bowl ever in that game, though. Let's give him his respect.
That was crazy. Dude could have a ring for every finger. Without Eli and a dumb Philly team.
It's fine. It's fine.
He's still the dog.
Yeah. But, is there something to be said about the Eagles wearing green, being one of the 3 teams to win the Super Bowl,
yes and
wearing, their home jersey? I mean, the Chiefs did wear red against the Niners and won. Then they wore, I'm sorry. No, they did. They did wear red against the Niners.
The Niners
but they wore red against the Bucks and lost.
So they've been on both sides. So they're not phased by it.
Right.
Both teams are not really phased by the jersey
They won wearing
thing.
red and lost wearing red. So, if you want to bet trends, it tends to favor the team wearing white. But, that's one thing. And then another trend is Mahomes and him winning the MVP. Apparently the last 9 MVPs to play in the Super Bowl have lost. They have not won the Super Bowl in the same season they won the MVP. So
Brady and Manning both have done that twice.
It's scary. It's a scary stat. So those are some, funky trends. I don't know how much stock you put into them, but those are some weird trends. All right, another prop for you though, which could sway depending on, which is kind of why I brought it up though, because this is the Super Bowl MVP. So you obviously have to, whatever team you think is going to win, that's who you're going to bet on for the MVP.
Jason Kelce.
Let me give you some of these odds here. So Mahomes is plus 130, Hurts is plus 140. So the quarterbacks, not a ton of value there, but they're most likely to win. They're obviously, the likely candidates to win the Super Bowl MVP. Now this is where you get into the fun territory. So Kelce is plus 1,400. That is actually a great bet if you think the Chiefs are going to win.
Because it could be like a Gronk
Because it could be like 3 Kelce touchdowns and him having like 150 yards. And like, I don't know how you wouldn't be able to give it to him at that point.
Yeah.
If he's doing it all. Like if he's kind of like when Edelman was clearly doing it all against the Rams, like, and Cooper Kupp last year.
Yep.
Like when those guys are clearly doing it all, you kind of have to give it to him, right? So Kelce is up there for sure. AJ Brown plus 2,500. That's a sneaky one because, I mean, are you really going to bet Miles Sanders plus 2,500? I don't know if Devonta Smith plus 3,300.
That would be an interesting one. I was thinking about Devonta Smith. That'd be a sleeper one, but I don't know. Devonta Smith's been sneaky lately, man. He had an up and down season, but he was still like pretty good.
That's true. I mean, he's arguably outplaying AJ Brown. Like, I mean, he fully statistically is, but how much of that is AJ Brown kind of drawing in, the attention,
the double
defense,
team,
right?
Whatever.
So, but statistically, Devonta Smith has been outplaying AJ Brown significantly as of late. But here's an interesting one: Hassan Reddick, Eagles pass rusher, plus 3,500 to win Super Bowl MVP. That right there, honestly, that one is tasty.
If he gets some sacks,
like all he needs is, realistically, he could get 2.5 sacks if he gets like a fumble recovery touchdown. Like, there's a real chance. And if it's like a big play in the game too, right? Like, let's say it's tied in the fourth quarter and Hassan gets like a strip sack, fumble recovery touchdown. Like, it's going to him. So you would need some luck, but at plus 3,500, that's some good value. So I don't know if you're leaning any of these guys. Like, who would you lean? Because we're both on Eagles, so we both think it's coming from the Eagles. So who would you pick as your Super Bowl MVP? Out of those, Hurts, A.J. Brown, Sanders, Smith, Reddick, maybe somebody else. But who, like, out of those 4 or 5 guys, who are you kind of leaning?
I feel like if you want a little extra for what you're putting in, I'd probably have to go Brown. Because Hurts obviously is an easier choice, but there's less value there realistically because that's more obvious.
Right.
And Reddick that's a nice pick, but it's a little too much. So mine would be between Smith and Brown. I'd want to say Smith, but I think the advantage is Brown because it's the big moments. Smith is sneaky, and we'll see how they cover each of them, but I feel like the advantage could be Brown because Smith could be they could be double teaming Brown a little bit more, and Smith could be getting those yards, but the touchdowns could be being thrown to Brown,
I could see that 100%. All right, so another prop I have for you is the passing yards in this game. Now, I'm going to be playing this one, but Patrick Mahomes' passing yards are set at 292.5. I like the over for his passing yards. I think he is going to be forced to pass the football. Despite the Eagles' pass rush, I do see this game coming down to Mahomes having to make plays with his arm. And I'm going to trust, in a game like this, that Andy Reid is going to give the ball to his guy more times than he's going to give it to Pacheco, McKinnon.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think it's going to be basically all on Mahomes, like it has been for the majority of the season. So I like the over 292.5. I know the Eagles' secondary and pass rush is great, but I could see Mahomes just, stacking up yards. Third, fourth quarter, they're down a little bit. He's making plays. He's getting to the 20. He's just kind of racking it up. I see that happening here. So I like the over Mahomes 292.5 passing yards. That's one of my props that I will be playing for sure.
I think he gets that too. I don't disagree with that. Especially with his leg, he's going to have to win this game with his arm. Not that he can't move, and the run game's still okay, but this game is won on his arm. And if he starts misreading passes or being a little short or too long, too high, it's gonna be, if that happens, it's gonna be a long day for that man.
I agree.
It's gonna be a long but short because the ball is just gonna keep getting back into Eagles' hands.
I agree completely, honestly. All right, so then there's one more prop that I have for you, and it's anytime touchdown.
Okay.
All right, so obviously we know how this works. Score a touchdown anytime, you win, right? Nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy.
All right, so let me just pull up the numbers here, but quickly, I do know that Kelsey is minus 125 or something. So there's not a ton of
I was gonna say Kelsey should be probably number one automatic.
Right.
He's gonna get a touchdown.
Yeah, so Kelsey is minus 115. So there's not a ton of value there, but there is some decent value on Kadarius Toney. Plus 340 anytime touchdown for Kadarius Toney. What I'm feeling is Mahomes is going to have to give it to guys other than Kelsey. I think Kelsey could easily have a massive game. But if they are going to score, it's going to have to come from somebody other than him because the Eagles, and while the Chiefs can totally scheme Kelsey open, the Eagles are going to zero in on Kelsey in the red zone specifically. I think they might let him, have his fun in between the 20s, but once it gets down to the red zone, they're going to dial in on him because they can. They have the talent, they have the guys to do so, and they will. I like Toney as a little sneaky play here because I think, while I like Juju and
MVS.
MVS is nice. Toney has the ability to kind of
shifty.
He's shifty, but they also like to use him in a lot of different ways. Juju's the slot guy. MVS is the long, the deep threat. Kadarius Toney can do a lot of different things. We've seen him on end arounds. We've seen him on screens. We've seen him do a ton of different things for this offense. So I like him to score a touchdown in this game at plus 340. I think you're getting really good value there, and I also think Mahomes is going to have to give it to somebody other than Kelsey in the red zone. So I like Kadarius Toney plus 340. I don't know if you want to hear some of these other anytime touchdown
What else
totals here, but all right. So Hurts is minus 105. That's, he'll probably get a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
Sanders is plus 130. I don't love that. Not a ton of value. AJ Brown is plus 135. I think that's a really good bet. Like, I'm not going to put money on it, but I think I might put money on it. Screw it. I might. I think he's due to get one. Like, he's had a pretty horrible playoff so far. I think he's due to get a touchdown. He has to be. I mean, come on. It's time for AJ Brown.
Do all that to not have him do anything in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. Pacheco plus 150. Don't love that. Devonta Smith plus 175. That's decent. I
don't mind that one.
Dallas Goedert is plus 185.
Ooh,
that's interesting. Jerick McKinnon is plus 190. And then after that, you get into Tony, MVS, Juju, Kenneth Gainwell, Mahomes.
I like Tony, and I like the Smith one. But AJ Brown's good too. I saw those are the top three.
What about a parlay? AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Kadarius Toney, same game parlay plus 2,200, 10 to win 228.
I could see that happening, but I feel like I feel like you could trust putting Goddard in one of those two slots more than Smith and Brown, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all.
I'm not gonna parlay him, but no, it's not bad at all.
No.
I might parlay AJ Brown and Tony though. You get plus 772, so 10 to win 77. That's not bad.
I think that could hit.
Brown and Tony, that's good value, honestly.
I agree. Yeah, it's all about the other receivers. It's literally about the receivers because he's the tight end. So for the Chiefs, it's about what can the receiving core do to help win this game.
No, I know.
He has to win the game with his arm because they're gonna be hunting for his ankle.
Right.
And if he goes down, if he starts limping like bad,
yeah,
go beat up 40-year-old Chad Henne.
Yeah,
in the Super Bowl, they'll be like, okay, bad ankle, he's out. Yeah, if he gets knocked out of this game somehow,
it's bad.
It's a problem. If it is a problem if the Eagles don't win.
Well, the Eagles have been just headhunters, right? I mean, they took out Brock Purdy. That was obviously unintentional, but then they took out Josh Johnson. They concussed Josh Johnson. It's like
they're coming from bodies.
That pass rush is scary, and that's why I do like Hassan Reddick. Like, if you just throw a couple bucks down on Hassan Reddick, Super Bowl MVP. I mean, it's not outrageous to say, like, okay, he's got a shot to win it, depending on the game flow. Like I would throw a couple bucks down on it just to see just to see if you hit, just to see. It's a long shot, but maybe you hit it, It's like, who cares? It's the Super Bowl. Have some fun. Bet a defensive player to win MVP. Who cares?
I mean, you'd have a better, because no Chiefs defensive player is going to pull up like that.
No, Chris Jones is like plus 5,000.
Oh my gosh. What a hit that would be.
I mean, I
wonder what would that come out to?
10 to win 5, or 100 to win 5,000. So 10 to win 500.
Could you imagine? That's how the Chiefs would win the game if Mahomes was out. That dude would have to pull up.
For real. But I got one last thing to say before we kind of close this episode.
That's fine. Here. Perfect time right now.
All right. So I have a 9-leg parlay.
Oh my goodness.
9
Talk about a spider bet.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's hear it.
Eagles money line. Over 51.5 points. Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown score. Travis Kelce anytime touchdown score. Kadarius Toney anytime touchdown score. AJ Brown anytime touchdown. Or no, I'm sorry. AJ Brown first touchdown score. Over 299.5 Mahomes passing yards. I think that's an alternate. So over 300 yards for Mahomes. Over 84.5 receiving yards for Travis Kelce. And over 34.5 receiving yards for Kadarius Toney. That pays $100,000. Or I'm sorry, it's plus 100,000. I have $5 on it to pay $5,000. It is the 9-leg Evan Ewald Super Bowl special. $5 to win $5,000. That is a 9-legger. Do what you want with it. If you want to tail me when you're listening to this, maybe slow my voice down a little bit, but I'll repeat it very quickly here.
Go ahead.
Eagles money line over 51.5 points. Jalen Hurts anytime. Travis Kelce anytime. Kadarius Toney anytime. AJ Brown first touchdown score. Over 299.5 passing yards from Mahomes. Over 84.5 receiving yards for Travis Kelce. And over 34.5 receiving yards for Kadarius Toney. That is 100,000 plus 100,000. 5 to win 5,000.
As long as Toney is actively getting the ball, the first touchdown, AJ Brown is my only concern on that parlay.
If we get the first touchdown score with AJ Brown, we are hot.
Yeah, we very hot.
We are hot.
That's huge. If you get that, that's the most active bet. I
Goosebumps right now. Goosebumps. Woo!
You're gonna go nuts.
If I get $5,000 on this game, yeah, I'll be going crazy. It's gonna be a vacation time soon. I'll be going on vacation very soon.
I'll be.
Justin's coming with me.
Oh yeah, we rolling out of here.
We're going to the Key West. We're getting out of here.
That'd be hype. We're live from Key West. Thank you, AJ Brown.
But obviously, a lot's got to happen. But it's not unrealistic. There's a lot that I put in it. But yeah, it's crazy. It's great. I mean, it's the Super Bowl. You're gonna have some fun. Do something wild. Put $5 on 100,000.
If you're taking us there, I got all the accoutrements.
Man, would it be something?
That'd be wild.
But yeah, that's my massive parlay. I mean, do what you want with it, but at the end of the day,
if that AJ Brown hits, that thing could roll.
That
real
starts
quick.
us off. Woo!
That's everything. Everything rides on that.
I know it really does. But end of the day, we're both on Eagles minus 1.5. We both like the over. Are we both on the over
I'm
too?
on the over with you.
All right. And then I'm on heads. Justin's on tails. We gave you some, props to, whether you like Hurts to win MVP, go for it. If you like under passing yards for Hurts or whatever you want to do, have some fun. Be responsible though. I'm definitely going to be responsible. I mean, you hear that 9-leg parlay. I put 5 on it. You're thinking this guy's nuts, but trust me, I'm being responsible. I'm not going to lose my mind and go absolutely nuts, but I'm going to have some fun. We were up on the season, I believe. No, this will decide if you're up on the season.
Oh,
I'm up on the season at 67, 54, and 2. Justin is 56, 57, and 2. He needs this week to go positive.
Overall
Yes. The season.
Overall record, but my NFL record will be positive.
Your NFL record is going to be positive no matter what happens, because really we're just playing spread and the total here. So
we're riding on a
40,
lot.
35, and 2 in the NFL for you. I was 43, 37, and 2. So we're both positive in the NFL. It was just where college got you. College just did not play well into your hands. It just did not, and it's unfortunate, but that's just what happened.
It'll be a crazy next season. I'm excited for next season because this is the closeout of all of our football,
right?
Fanatic fun. We will be moving forward. Obviously, we'll recap the Super Bowl next week, but we will be moving forward into basketball season. We're going to get some NBA. We're going to dive deep when March Madness comes around, but we'll be rocking that for a bit. We will be back, though, when the NFL draft does come around.
Yes.
Stay tuned for that, and there'll be some off-season news at some point. So those are things to look forward to, but yes, this will be the close of the NFL season.
Yeah, obviously, when it comes to betting, this is the last game we'll be able to bet till August. So
we start betting preseason games.
We might, but yeah, this is going to be it for obviously us betting football. But we're not going to stop talking about football. Football doesn't stop because Super Bowl,
fair,
just happens. We got much more to talk about with football. We got a ton of off-season stuff we got to get into, and then you got college basketball, you got NBA. I mean, we got so much more to talk about. We have Champions League that we could get into as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be talked about. Obviously, we're going to focus more on the orange-brown ball over there, college and NBA. But
shift.
we're not going to forget football because there is always something to talk about. There's always a storyline in the NFL. So
New coaches, quarterbacks on the move,
Right.
draft coming up, NBA draft coming as well.
that's true. I mean, that's, after the NBA Finals in June, we'll have that to talk about, and then that'll lead us right into, and we'll have some baseball too.
Yeah, maybe we'll throw that in. July will be the interesting month because that'll be kind of the fluctuation.
That is true. But,
But overall, we'll be pretty locked in.
right. And, I think there's going to be a lot of fun to be had with baseball because I know baseball, and, you can kind of see division winners, right? Like we can throw some futures down on that.
Yeah, okay,
so
I'm down for that.
we'll have a ton to talk about.
Little
Just
baseball
because
throw-in.
football is going away doesn't mean we are.
Oh,
We're staying locked in. We're going to keep giving you picks. We're going to keep producing content. And hopefully, I think with football ending, we'll be able to hopefully increase our engagement, increase our influence, and
Absolutely.
our popularity overall. So those are our big goals, but that's the Super Bowl, man. I guess it's fly, Eagles, fly. I mean, that's just what it comes down to.
Fly Eagles fly Eagles fly because I'll tell you, I'm waiting on the fall of the Chiefs' kingdom. I'm waiting
If
on
they
the
win
fall.
this,
We're not
everyone
gonna,
is going to call it a dynasty. And I'm sorry, but it's just not a dynasty yet. You gotta do
you
it.
can't be a dynasty when until Patrick Mahomes came, all you did was make the playoffs every year and get blown out when you had the chance.
I mean, they're like a pre-dynasty right now. Like they're definitely
They had everything
they're
going
in the
and then they just couldn't get over
conversation
the
to
hump.
be a dynasty. Like they could be, but you cannot just declare them a dynasty if they win, this game. Like you still got to do more.
It's off the table to me if they lose this.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least for definitely in the near future.
It'll be interesting to see what the Chiefs do if they lose this game. Like, I'm really interested to see how they pivot because the Eagles don't have to do much at all. Like, they're probably going to, they're going to have to restructure some of the team. They're not going to bring back everyone. Some guys that are free agents are going to get their contracts and they're going to
Retire.
prosper. Yeah.
Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey might retire.
Yeah. So you're going to see some turnover with the Eagles probably, but they're still going to be a really solid team. Like, they'll be just fine. Howie Roseman will be just fine with them, but it'll be interesting to see what the Chiefs do, how they pivot, how they, quote unquote, rebound if they do lose this game. But if they win, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, it's true. I don't know what to expect because what was I going to say? 4 straight AFC championships, 3 Super Bowls. If you only win one,
Yeah.
what about it?
Well, 4 or 5, right?
They're 4 or 5?
Because the Bengals last year.
Yeah, 4 of the last 5. Crazy.
No, I'm sorry. 3 of the last 5.
Because they made 4 straight, right? Or they've made 4 straight AFC championships.
Correct.
They've been to 3 Super Bowls. Or they will be. Now they're going to be in 3 Super Bowls. Can they be one? Will they be 1 and 2 or 2 and 1?
If we go back the past 5 years, Pats, Chiefs, Bengals, Chiefs.
I hope they go to the negative so I can go finish on the positive. But anyway,
I think we're on the right side of it. The public's on the Eagles, but I just think you throw your hands up and say they're the better football team and they got more ways to win than the Chiefs do.
All facts, man.
C'est la vie.
Nothing
Such
more
is
to
life.
say. Nothing more to say. Close it out. Good season. Follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok. All the STJ sports betting that you can get. Evan's active, man.
I'm going to be more
on
active.
Twitter.
I have not been active enough. I'm going to be honest. I have not been active enough, but we are going to be very active in the near future. I'm going to make this much more engaging. Justin's going to make it more engaging. We're going to be on it. We're going to make sure you guys are not only tuning in, but are
following
along and, giving us
the juice.
Yeah, giving us some heat. We don't care. We want it. We encourage it. So please do what you can.
I'm already red hot.
Justin's looking fiery right now.
You can't handle the truth.
So that's it, man. It's going to be fun. We hope you enjoy Super Bowl 57, man. It's going to be something special.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you are watching on YouTube. Subscribers have been going up. Love that. Do what you want. Turn on the post notifications. Hit that bell. Be notified when we post. Live it. Love it. Football. Nothing more to say.
Nothing more to say. Keep squeezing, man. Keep squeezing.
And that'll be all, folks. We'll see you next time. I'll squeeze the juice. Peace.